The little voice. Okay, there's the little voice.
Jeffrey's
Recording
hearing
in
voices in his
progress.
head again. Just teasing. No, the little voice we heard was the now recording voice. So you have now tuned into the May 2025 edition of Recordando, the monthly poets gathering, um, wherein we meet for 2 hours to share our original work, to poke fun at life and cultural norms, and kind of visit some otherworldly spaces that we co-create by virtue of all the way our various streams of talk tend to um, play well with each other and dovetail nicely to make some kind of haphazard thesis that is very elegantly, joyfully uplifting, at least to me. In other words, this is like a poetry reading or online literary gathering, and off we go. Whoever would like to speak first, please step up.
Um, so I have a little link here. I already mentioned this to you, Tammy. But since this is like a core group of us here today, I feel like I should ask everybody's permission or ask what you think about this. But it happens that next month on June, Recordando falls on the 21st, which is the solstice. And I'm going to an event called Garden of Memory. And actually, maybe I think maybe I could share the page for a second. Um, oh, it's not turned on. I requested sharing, Tammy, if you get a,
Mm-hmm. Go for it.
I'm going, okay, this is the coolest, um, this must be it. Wait, okay. This is the coolest music event that I know in the Bay Area. It happens once a year on the solstice for 4 hours. You can see the videos. You guys see the share screen?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yep.
It is, I like this because this is just their main, but it takes place in a columbarium, an enormous, elaborate columbarium that's got 3 or 4 um, levels. So it's like it was built into a rock hillside, and everything you see behind the people, like all those books on those shelves, those aren't books; those are ashes. This place is filled with people's ashes, but it's this enormous place that's made of, as you can see, tile and glass and wood and bits of metal, and it's got a million little nooks and a chapel called the Chapel of the Chimes. It's not actually called the Garden of Memory. That's the name of the event. The place is called the Chapel of the Chimes, but it goes from 5 o'clock till 9 o'clock. They have at least 100 music performances in this highly acoustic spaces, like 50 of them going at once. In like all these, you can probably walk a couple miles through the place, really, altogether. I wouldn't be surprised. And you just wander from place to place and see who's in this corner. What is that? What is that sound? And a lot of it's experimental. And then some more well known, like I noticed, for instance, that Fred Frith is playing in one of the spaces this year, and he does that occasionally. And then, but then there'll be like an indie choir, women's choir, Kitka, that does Eastern European songs. And you're watching people playing various things. I don't know what that guy's playing. So anyway, I'm going to be at that during the next Recordando, so I can't really join in as I normally would, but I was thinking that maybe I could, for a little while, call, or once or twice, call in, or on my Zoom on my phone, and show you guys little bits of this amazing music, whatever it happens to be. I mean, there are people that come with homemade instruments that you've never imagined before, and then people doing combinations of normal stuff, and it's just beautiful everywhere. So, anyway, would that be okay? Would you guys mind if next month I'm going to stop the share? Well, would you guys be okay if next month I be at the Garden of Memory and, maybe I could have everything on mute and not be able to pay much attention or just black screen. But then when I find a couple of cool things, I'll ask if you want to hear a couple minutes of a choir or a saxophone quartet doing improv, or what the little kids are doing with the what's the thing you use your hands? What's that instrument that makes the weird noises? I'm forgetting what it's called. Nobody knows.
I don't think I know
It's
the
sort
name
of,
of that.
it's sort of electrical, like something you put your hands nearby and it makes weird noises. Okay.
The
Anyway,
dog.
a dog. That's right. And
Um,
at the moment of sunset, whenever that is, everyone that's there, and it'll be up. They sell 3,000 tickets. Everyone rings a bell at the same time for the solstice.
oh, I think you should tune in for that part as well. Um, I think it would be great if somehow you could text me or somehow text in the chat, so then we'll be aware that you're that you might be ready to live stream something to us. And that way we won't be interrupting anybody's reading.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I would figure it out.
Yeah, I love that
Or I
idea.
could.
It would be a very, very immersive experience for those of us who can't be in the Bay Area with you that day.
Now,
Or I could
sunset in San Francisco
Theremin, thank you.
is is a couple of hours later than here.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't. You would never hear the bells, but it goes from 5 to 9,
Oh, that's
and
11.
usually we
Yeah, you're
start
right.
my time.
It's 7 to 11
We
here.
started. We usually start here at at 6. Anyway,
Mm.
I would. Anyway, I just a
Maybe we
thought.
could do our
I
own
could
bell
even keep
thing. Maybe
a while.
the others of us who are here could do our own bell ringing at 10 o'clock, or when
I know.
when we end.
Hey, actually, have people walking around with baskets of bells, handing them out.
Hmm.
But I have my own. I have bells. Anyway,
Bells and what was the other thing? Summer solstice poems, prose
mm-hmm.
works. And I think Tammy wants to sing that Leonard Cohen song about the cracked bell, which is called Anthem. I just watched a Leonard Cohen, the Canadian musician Leonard Cohen, um, documentary a couple of hours ago. And yeah, Anthem was very moving when I heard it sung in the movie today.
Awesome.
So that's our menu for June, and yeah, that gives people a heads up. Yay! And then Richard will pop in,
We'll figure
our
it out.
Oakland correspondent.
I could even figure out a couple things I know would be good, and there is actually a schedule, because they sort of what each space, of which there are a great many, usually has 2 performers in it back and forth. They get 45-minute sets, and it's 4 hours long, so they each get 30 to 45 minutes. Then there's an open space for 15 or so where people wander around, but you wander around anyway. You can be wandering in this. It's like a maze. It's like a 3-dimensional maze of glass and marble and tile and fountains. Oh my God, it's amazing. And dead people. Ooh, that's the best part. They get a bucking concert once a year, no matter where they are. Um, I can talk more later about podcasts, but maybe someone else wants to take a turn of speaking about the universe.
Thank you. Who would like to present next for us? Lorraine, would you like to share something?
Pues the end of July, there'll be a new journal in Spanish coming out called Revista Literaria Guardacabo, which is a project of the Symbol Literary Magazine. It's an all Spanish language edition of Symbol. And I'm one of the associate editors. The main editor is Brian Duran
Duran
Fuentes,
Fuentes.
and the other assistant editor is Catalina Thomas, who's also from Texas. And so, yeah, it's got 34 incredible poets from Spanish language poets from the States and from Latin America in it. And so keep an eye out the end of July for that. An opportunity to practice your Spanish. And on a personal note, today Origami Poems Project released a new microchap of my poetry called A Day in the Life.
Nice. You read from your last one, or from one of your last ones last year, I think.
Was it last year or the year before that?
It might have been 2023. But I love that project.
Did you say origami?
Origami Poems Project.
Do the chapbooks actually, are they issued as origami?
Well, actually, what they are they're free micro chaps. And so you print it off and they have the instructions on how to fold it into a micro chap.
That's awesome.
And this is my 10th one with them.
Wow.
You're so prolific. So I have a question about the Guardacabo. The accepted poets for that issue, or I don't know if it's just poetry or not, but do they span the globe, or are they mostly
I think there's a
Southern
couple
hemisphere?
from Spain, but most of them are from the Americas.
Okay.
Oops.
Y'all had a quick turnaround, because I think the submissions deadline was the end of April.
Yeah. Well, as they came in, with 3 of us reading the submissions, we each had a day that we had to do, that we were responsible for the submissions that came in on our days. And yeah. So read them, ranked them, and Brian made the final decisions on all of them, according to what our thoughts were. It's interesting reading submissions.
It's an interesting task, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Like going, do I like this because it's a perfect piece, or do I like it because of what I had for breakfast? But you know what I mean? I mean, I kind of
Yeah, it can feel very fickle. I remember, well, for that About Place Journal issue that I co-edited, I was a guest editor and then hired two assistants, and one of them couldn't fulfill the role due to health issues in the family. I read 70 essays, and I don't even want to know how many count. I don't even want to think about the number of poems I read, but 70 essays. And yeah, my eyes suffered for that. And it was a 6-month process just going, putting it together. But I'm very proud of the issue. Yeah, and a lot of dialogue back and forth, Zoom meetings with my team and the publisher. Yeah, big job, but worth it. And that issue's still up online if you ever want to see it, and I'm very proud of it. And it also
Tammy,
included video and audio files and photography, visual art. Oh, and can I say, my friend Liliana Valenzuela and I put together a braided essay and submitted it for the forthcoming issue. It's coming out within the next 2 weeks of About Place Journal, and it's an issue on collaboration. So Liliana and I collaborated on this braided essay about being collaborative poets who've been walking together as poets since the mid 90s when we lived in Austin. And I have emails from back in those days. So we have excerpts from some of the emails in the threaded and the braided essay and one of my drawings. And I'm very excited for it to be coming out. And I think the issue is going to be really provocative because they were giving preferential submission attention to collaboratively presented submissions.
remember you mentioning that, and going, I don't have time to do something for myself, let alone for someone else right now. Um, although, in fact, I usually submit to Montanal. I don't know if you know which place I mean. Maintenance. That's an interesting journal. Let me see if I can.
Is that a French word there that you're saying? Is that their
Yeah,
French word that you're saying over there? Sorry.
here.
Fentanyl.
Yeah, Mental. It's funny. Every time I do a reading for them, um, it's a annual Dada journal, but Dada as in, well, anything, but they usually have a very political theme for any given issue. Um,
Okay,
and
before your link, I want to say above your link in
oh,
the chat, there's one from Lorraine. I guess this is the link to um your chat origami chat. I mean chat book. Is that
Uh-huh.
what that is? Okay. Yay. So
Yep.
it's downloadable and foldable. Can't wait. Nice.
holding.
Thanks for sharing that. A Day in the Life Chronicles
I,
from. And then now we're looking at the Dada Journal, Mantinan that you
I'm just letting in case it's of ever of interest, but
and it's
I didn't.
an annual production.
Yeah, that one's annual. They said they accepted through March, I think, this year, but
Oh, it's too late.
I just didn't
It's
get anything to them. In fact, one of the editors, because they'll usually include most things they get, and they have really high quality. It's international. In fact,
uh-huh.
2 issues ago, they actually had submissions. They had they do poetry. No, excuse me, writing and art. You get like one page, but it's like I don't know if it's 8.5 by 11 or 7 by 10, but it's a pretty good size page you can submit for. And they actually had stuff from writers and artists from every continent, including Antarctica.
Love it.
This year, I don't know. But one of the editors actually sent me an email going, I just realized you never sent us something this year. What the fuck? Like, leaving me room to say, I've been really fucking busy and broke.
They took it
But
personally,
anyway,
or they're just teasing you?
he's teasing. He knows I'd beat him up. But, yeah. Anyway,
Would you like to read from that origami chat book, Lorraine?
What, right now?
No pressure.
Let me open it up.
You don't have to fold it.
Okay, it's got 6 numbered parts. So I'll just read the first 2. Before the sky even begins to lighten, bird song echoes down the thin cobblestone streets. In the doorway, a plump woman sleeps, slumped on her stool, her bunches of flowers soaking in the morning's damp sunlight.
looking at the page or at our origamipoems.com, Lorraine, I only see, I'm trying to figure out how you download it.
Oh, you have to, oh, wow, this one's not live yet. If you click on the titles of the other ones, it will open up the document.
Oh, I see it. Yeah, I was trying to, I was like, why doesn't it says click on the title and you can't for the new one yet? I see.
Yeah.
This is awesome. I'm gonna like get them all, and I'm gonna have a folding party with myself.
Yeah, the 10 that I've had, there's the latest one is poetry from Ecuador. The previous 2 are from Colombia.
Hmm.
The one before that is Ecuador. Then Patagonian Sketches is Argentina and Chile. Chaco Dreams is Argentina. Caribbean Interludes, Venezuela. There's another one from Quito, one from the northern coast of Peru, and the first one was from the Galapagos.
I was scrolling down the site as you were speaking, checking out the covers.
And the covers all have my photography or artwork.
That's awesome. Excuse me. I'm trying to eat chips and talk at the same time. Did Tammy go away? Or is she just shunning us?
Bio break, maybe.
Yeah.
I'll just mention in this break that I've been reading on and off translations of Chinese poetry. And one of the main translators is a guy named David Hinton. And David Hinton has a very poetic book that I've been reading called Orient: Two Walks at the Edge of the Human. And The reason I bring it up is the two walks, they're in the south deserts of the southwest US that he takes on the solstices, one in the summer solstice, one on the winter solstice. And I've been reading the one on the summer solstice, in preparation for the solstice. But he uses the framework for his writings. He uses the Chinese character for space and the Chinese character for time, and talks about time and space from a very non-Newtonian perspective. And he wanders across the desert, and he, at least in the first walk, which is all I've been reading. Oh, here comes Kamala. That he talks about walking through the Southwest, and he comes through the ruins of what used to be a people living place, and he builds cairns and talks about orientation in space and time and things like that. So I was planning on coming next month on the solstice with some reflections spurred by my reading of David Hinton's book, Orient. So welcome back, Tammy. And hello, Kamala.
Hi, Kama.
Hello. I
You're
just got back.
muted, Tammy.
I was at the Cajunto Festival, but I just came back.
Woohoo.
Did you do some dancing?
No, I usually volunteer there. I wasn't there real long because I'm going to go back tomorrow night. They need me more when they have their raffle or something. But I usually spend at least a night volunteering there. It's just like 6-8 blocks from my house.
Ooh, can you hear the music? Hey, open the window and hear the music.
Sometimes I can, but this year I couldn't. They've done different things to the park. I don't know if it made it. It seems to me that it projects the music the other direction or something. But anyway,
so the
it was
Conjunto Fest in San Antonio, Texas is the premier Conjunto festival, probably of the Southwest, if you ask me. And I've been once, and it was amazing. We got there early enough to get a good spot. You kind of, plop down your blanket, and you don't spend a lot of time on the blanket. Once the music gets going, everybody's up dancing, and it's just really a lot of fun. It's an outdoor event.
Yeah. On top of a hill, sort of, and so it's windy, and actually it was starting to sprinkle when I left, and
so it was comfortable.
It was cooler than it is. I mean, because there was wind out there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um,
I actually found out today that I know somebody here locally named Joanne who actually dated Flaco Jimenez for a minute.
Oh,
I said, "Wow, Mom, Flaco Jimenez, he's got really pretty eyes." She goes, "Well, I don't know them. I don't know him. I don't know." I'm like, "Well, I do." That's saying a lot. Flaco is not just a, any old accordion player.
No,
not just any old Flaco.
right.
I remember when I lived in Austin, there was a Conjunto festival at Mexicarte.
Oh,
And it was the night that Cesar Chavez died.
oh my. Wow.
Can you guys say the name of the festival again, or type it out? Because I'm not picking up the name very clearly.
It's a kind of music, Cajunto. I'll spell it. I mean, it does. Oh, my dog is trying to help me type.
Conjunto.
Yeah. think that's right.
The name suggests it's a blend of musics, or am I misreading that?
No, conjunto is like a group. It's a genre of music.
Yeah, it's a genre.
But literally, the word con and junto is like saying with together, which I love.
Yeah,
With
And
together.
it is a cultural blend. I mean,
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
It looks like the word conjunction to me. And I read a lot of etymologies, so a couple of the things that we talked about tonight reminded me of a book I read last year that blew me away.
That's
One
my
of the
guess.
better novels I read in a long.
Sorry.
Huh?
German oompa music combined a hybrid of German oompa polka music with Mexican norteño. Correct me if I'm
Okay.
wrong. Anybody?
Well, conjunto also exists in Central America. I remember in El Salvador, communities, repoblaciones, villages that were abandoned during the Civil War and refounded by the refugees. They sang conjuntos of their trek of having to go into exile and coming back. And the main purpose of conjunto music is to relay the history of the people.
that sounds like what we call corridos here.
Yeah, corridos is what we say. Yeah, the storytelling songs. I guess it depends on what country.
But that's really cool. And the instruments are important too, like the button accordion and the bajo sexto.
Bajo sexto.
I don't know.
Yeah. It's beautiful tradition in San Antonio for sure.
Yeah.
So, Lorraine, I wonder if I might have been at that event at Mexicarte that you mentioned, and what's the name of did Conjunto Aslan play? Because I remember seeing Conjunto Aslan play at Mexicarte, and oh my God, we were all dancing all around. And they're kind of a movimiento conjunto band. They have a song called Picket Signs about picketing and protesting. Very lefty conjunto.
You're talking about something that happened like 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago.
Yeah, I remember being there to hear Conjunto Aslan at
wrote a poem about one of our friends who was dancing like so beautifully. Dora.
Oh yeah, Dora de la Rosa.
Uh-huh.
She might have been there at the same time. I'm just wondering aloud. So here's something not about Spanish language music. I think it's called Yogi Bear. This is where my nephew is at right now. Yogi Bear Water Park.
Oh, cool.
And so I had to take a call from my mom because we're trying to figure out when my nephew's coming home from Yogi Bear Water Park.
That's what you meant when you said innocent and wholesome or something.
Maybe.
It's on a date.
No, that was yesterday.
Sorry.
Was just the date. Today is he's with my sister. He's with his other tia, his other aunt. I want to read a piece and to get a little bit of feedback or any comments from you. It is a piece that I'm thinking about reading in Dallas later this month, and I just want.
Hey, Tammy.
Yeah.
Tammy, can you move the microphone closer to your mouth? Because I can barely hear you. It should just swivel up. Yeah.
It
Now say something.
slipped. It slipped because
Okay.
I've been
Oh,
back
okay.
and
Now I can
forth.
hear you.
I've been back and
Mhm.
forth and doing things.
Just duct tape it to your face. Is what I usually do.
Well, I was
Okay, go
leaving I was going away and getting on the telephone in the kitchen, so it's been on and off my
Mhm.
head several times. Let me see, what's the title? Yeah. Okay, I wrote this during the Obama presidency, and it's in the form of a letter. I think it is. Okay. Can I start? I know about a young mother and her innocent son, but not very much. It's perfunctory and truncated, what I know about them. A hard-working lawyer with a heart as heavy as her law books has told me about these two people in a Texas detention center. President Obama, First Lady Michelle, please know that I have no vested interest, no political benefit to gain for speaking now when a mother and her son cannot. Literally, the son cannot. He lost his voice when he was thrown against a wall. Things happen like that in Honduras when your mother's being gang raped and the screaming of a baby irritates a violent criminal. Can we shut up for a minute about the laws on the books, the policies in paper that keep a mother from assured refuge that prevent her from safe harbor here? Can we respectfully listen to the quickened heartbeat of a baby boy whose only mistake was being born in a failing state that cannot guarantee his survival? Maybe it is his turn to talk, his turn to have a chance to rise to promise and possibility. It is his turn to have a locking front door in a stable household in a quiet neighborhood like mine. Perhaps it is his turn to live in a clean house with Bibles and TVs plentifully laden with quotes and crooks, beggars and betrayers. It's time to turn this boy's volume up. He's got truths to tell in amplified sonatas against jungle justice trills. Please don't let him be killed.
Hmm.
Did you send that?
What'd you say?
Did you send that letter?
I did not.
Hmm.
It's rhetorical, I
Mhm.
suppose.
Where are you thinking of reading it now? I mean, it resonates. In fact, yeah.
Well, I think I mentioned last month, um, let me know if I didn't, about a book that's being released maybe this week called Detained.
Mhm.
It's based on
Oh, yeah. I
the
heard about it
the
on the radio.
yeah. So Tony Diaz and Nuestra Palabra are organizing multiple readings. It's kind of a book tour of that release, and the person who experienced detainment or being locked up at Tornillo back in 2017 or so cannot travel on the tour, but his co-writer or ghostwriter, or the assistant, the person who does have papeles, that person who's also listed as co-author will be in attendance at these readings on the tour. Because I helped set up the Dallas reading, I helped Tony find a venue and get that going. He's invited me to read, to be like the opening poet. Yeah. So I'm
Hmm.
trying to think of 2 or 3 pieces to read that might resonate or be appropriate. Um, I know it's heavy and hard. I was really feeling it when I wrote it. Yeah, it's just any feedback if you think it's too, I don't know, dated or
Dated?
Not at
You
all.
gotta be kidding.
What I'm what comes to mind is, what would you say in a letter to Trump about this? I mean, you can write about Obama. I mean, you can write a rhetorical letter to him I'm not saying you should do that. I'm just saying it's just the comparison is like he doesn't.
I don't think he can read. Not kidding.
Aside, yeah.
You know, that's a good idea because I feel that the piece kind of throws you out of a plane and drops you in the middle of unknown territory, and then you don't see how the story ends. And so it doesn't. I mean, if how to feel like anything like that is a complete piece, you know. But maybe it would benefit from me having a new section, like you suggested, Kamala, a rhetorical letter to the new president, you know, the current administration.
The fake president.
I mean, you could almost do a letter to Biden and then a letter to, I mean, you could do letter starting with Obama and then Trump and then Biden and then Trump again, because nothing's changed.
Except it's gotten a lot more intensified.
Yeah.
But
and now it's our people who are doing it rather than the Honduras.
Yeah.
That too. Was this a real situation that you were playing off of in the mother and the little boy, or was that?
Bless you, Richard. Yes, it was. It was actually a case that I think Virginia Raymond was working on, someone we know. I believe that was the lawyer who was working on that case. But yeah, it was the those horrific circumstances took place in Honduras, and the mother and fleeing child were trying to get asylum
Yeah,
in the US, and were being detained together.
I think just a historical note like that at the beginning would set it so you didn't feel dropped in. I mean, I didn't feel dropped in anyway, but the way that.
Okay.
I didn't feel dropped in either.
Mm-hmm.
But
That
y'all are
also-
astute readers, and y'all have historical knowledge that the audience later this month may not have. There may be younger people there that don't have that, knowledge base.
The young people.
Okay, that's helpful. That's really helpful. Thank you. Appreciate your input. I have to deal with. Yeah, were you gonna say something?
I can't imagine trying to write a letter to Trump. I mean, what would you appeal to?
Oh, I'd offer him a plane and a gold necklace.
He already has them.
I know, but
No,
it seems to work, right?
But he wants a new one.
He wants
Yeah,
something he doesn't have.
he may need a fresher one in 2 weeks. I have to.
I'm thinking like a gold leaf.
I'll be right back. Sorry, I have some.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tammy's up and down a lot tonight. I'm worried about it.
Actually, the poem that I was thinking about reading, because I've been reading these poems from the past, this one is from On the Line, is a immigrant detention poem from a conversation as well. If y'all want to hear it when she comes back.
Yeah, we've actually read almost nothing tonight. We've just been mostly been talking.
I mean, she's recording this, so if you want to read it, she can listen to it after.
She'll be back.
Fill the space.
Did she say where she was going?
I think she's dealing with her mother and her nephew.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And Yogi Bear.
Right.
He's smarter than the average bear, I hear.
At least that's what he tells us. So does Trump.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, where? Okay. It's going to take me a second here.
Okay.
I didn't. Oh, I think I remember.
I'm going to refresh my drink. I'll be right back.
I've been sitting here just munching chips this whole time, but
I could hear them. What kind of chips was it?
it's just some corn chips from particularly good corn chips made in a restaurant. I got them yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Um, I bought 2 tacos. That's
Mhm.
momentous for me right now because I had almost no work for over a year, and I'm broke pretty badly. But I just had like it hasn't started yet, but a decent amount of work has come in that's going to start probably this coming week.
Wonderful.
And go off and on
congratulations.
through the rest of the year. It's not full time. I'll still need to find other work, but it's going to take the pressure off. And so I was out doing errands as I do, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna buy a fucking taco. And I did. I bought a fish taco and a veggie taco, and I was so happy. And they gave me their chips, and they make them there, and they're particularly good. They're very, very. I always like their chips. I don't even know how you make them quite this thin.
Oh, yeah. Those thin ones are very nice. I like
Oh,
crispy.
yeah. And they're still good. So I was like, I'm hungry. I'm going to eat the chips while they're still good. Mhm. I
Well,
love your glasses.
yeah, aren't they crazy? They were what I had in my. They're like dollar ones.
Yeah.
I bought 2 tacos yesterday too, and I was only meaning to buy one. I was coming back from taking a cat to get spayed, so it was like a breakfast taco. And I pulled into this place that I thought I had eaten there and it was good. And I ordered a chilaquiles taco, and they gave me, and she said she didn't misunderstand the order, but she wanted to know if I wanted red or green sauce. And I said ambos. I said both, can I have both? And so then she thought I wanted 2 tacos. And so she gave me 2 migas tacos that they tasted like the snacks, that you have. Because it was just chips and a little bit of cheese and white tortilla. It was okay. It just was not what I wanted.
Uh-oh. I know in Santa Fe we say Christmas. In New Mexico, that's how people ask for red and green.
Oh,
They ask for Christmas.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm sure they would not have understood that one.
No, they wouldn't have because it's Texas.
It was.
Now, where was this place that gave you the not what you wanted stuff?
Well, it's on the west side off of Culebra, Guadalajara. And I thought I had eaten there with somebody once before, and I saw that it was a drive-through, and I just thought, oh, let me get a breakfast taco so I don't have to worry, because it's been so hot, and you don't like to heat up your stove and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wouldn't, yeah. So, but it was sort of a failure, but it was also a generational failure somehow. Like, I don't think they made taco. You know what I mean when I say it's like a snack food taco? Oh, because the sauce, it was their own. It was in a little plastic thing, not. It was in a plastic bag kind of thing. That those little ones.
A condiment packet.
Their label on it of the restaurant, but there was a green one and that was really what made it, because it did not taste like real.
Not authentic.
It's authentic to snack food, but not to fresh. Yeah, because it didn't taste like Taco Bell or something, but it tasted like anyway. I was telling them when you were gone that I had already thought, well, if I read a poem, I'm going to read this one that I just came across the other day, because it's another one. This is an even older one, looking back on poems that resonate. And this one it's called On Raymondville, a Conversation. And it is sort of literally, I mean, a lot of it is literally from this conversation um, down in the valley. I think I was at the Lupe at some kind of event, but we were outside waiting for some reason. It hadn't started yet or something. And I was talking to this man, or rather he was talking to me. So it's autumn 2007. When she lost peace in the detention center, where tents were lit 24/7 like empty convenience stores, the doctor gave her pills, but my wife spit them out quietly. Now she is back in her country with her family. Her 4-year-old stayed here with her most trusted friend. I visit the child, snap photos to send. On the phone, the girl is too shy to speak, but she giggles at her mother's voice. It happened when I had to make a Saturday business trip, and my wife came along to see the desert in bloom. It was so beautiful in spring. They'd put up a new checkpoint, and by the time we saw it, it was too late. Border Patrol had surrounded us. They let me bring some clothes to the jail the next day. The attorneys here raise hopes and take money. ICE is kinder than the lawyers. They'd let me visit in detention a half hour, sometimes 2. My wife has a golden spirit, though. When she'd call from detention, she'd have someone behind her and she'd tell me, this friend doesn't have someone like you to pay the call. Can you stay online a little longer? Cover her call too, so she can talk to her family.
Wow.
So
Yeah, the
it was,
realities. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was a real conversation. So,
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
How did you become privy to that story?
when I was teaching down in the valley, I had gone to something at the, what does it stand for? The acronym is LUPE, and it's it's immigration and other social justice stuff. And maybe I don't think I would have gotten there early. I don't know. I got there late. Anyway, there was this man that was also sitting there waiting. Maybe something else was going on first. I don't know. Anyway, we're sitting outside and he started telling me about, what had happened to his wife. And he was an Anglo guy, I think. But I don't even remember whether I think she was from Central America, but just it was, I mean, the whole idea of going out, her going along because the desert was in bloom. And I think that's like maybe the most and then spitting out the pills because all this stuff that just is little tiny details that came up in that conversation that I was like, wow, this is it definitely humanizes the situation. And it's a kind of situation that too many people don't look at as if they are humans, and it isn't just the Trumpy people either, MAGA people. So
Let's making me think about a little conversation I'm having with myself about whether it's important for writers now to be documenting their impressions of all the many, many things we're reading. I mean, there's so many words out there right now, so many words, so many words, because people are sharing, people are commenting, people are ranting, people are informing or historic giving us historical context for things happening now. So there's a lot of words already. So it's personally, this is me, my opinion. I feel sometimes like, why would my words need to be added to the cacophony of words out there as well. But then last night or today, when I watch movies, it's when I feel it most. Like you need to be documenting
Hmm.
because you won't remember these things. You're remembering them now and they hurt. These details hurt, but I need to chart them or document them in a manner in my, through my lens and with my vocabulary and way of writing and speaking. Um, because in 2 years I won't remember, or I'll need to be nudged again to come back to this day and this place, and the way that I was feeling and the way that I was living
Yeah,
through the time. So I feel like there's very little I've written because there's already so much out there. Does anybody else have a similar thought?
I've been reading um, some, new books of poetry by people, and it's interesting because they'll have a section of new poems that were written during the beginning of COVID,
Mm.
and and I find myself remembering in reading these people's impressions of beginning of COVID what it was like, because I've kind of pushed that down and aside. So if they hadn't written those poems, I wouldn't be reading them and I wouldn't have that experience. So yes, we should be writing about our experience of what's going on now. Um,
Yeah, I think those
sorry.
past experiences get buried, and not because we don't care, but because new things are happening to us. But like you say, and for me, it can be film that propels me to excavate my own memories, and ideas that I hadn't thought about in a while because they've been buried, not because I'm trying to avoid or deny,
Yeah.
obfuscate. How do you say obfuscate? Yeah, whatever that word is. But because
Tammy, microphone.
things are happening, because new things are happening, So thank you for saying that, Jeffrey. And I will, and I shall begin writing more.
It doesn't. It doesn't even necessarily have to be, the social events of the hour, or these days the minute.
Yeah.
I mean, that comes into a lot of it, but you know, knowing, for instance, what other things you were going through during that time, any given time, reminds you of the life going on amidst turmoil or amidst whatever. So what I'm saying, I guess, is important to record, but not to limit the recording to things you think are important.
Mm.
That makes
No,
sense,
yeah, not at all. It makes a lot of sense because
right? That fucking
I've been feeling very drawn to the idea of compiling my bus stories,
Mhm.
commuting by bus here in Fort Worth because I don't think very many writers of color. Kamala, Fort Worth and San Antonio are like day and night, with y'all having the light and Fort Worth being in darkness. Um,
Oh, I don't know.
because I can't even list more than five Latine writers of color, or same, Latine writers who are charting and documenting what it's like here locally on the ground. And it's the detail of, the quotidian day, that can tell a lot, reveal a lot. So here's something that happened this week, me riding the bus. On the way, have to go one route, number 6, go downtown, and then I get off the 6 and catch the 2 that takes me to my workplace. So I was on the number 6 and the bus driver stopped, not at a stop, but just because he stopped somewhere on 8th Avenue. And he wasn't making a phone call. He stopped to brush his teeth, and he brushed them very vociferously for at least 4 minutes. And I took a photo and I texted it to my nephew, saying even a bus driver deserves a clean mouth and fresh breath. And then so we resumed the drive when the driver was finished spitting on the street and then on the pavement, and I missed my connection because he'd stopped to brush his teeth. So I missed my connection. I'm annoyed, but it's pointless to be annoyed because that's how it goes when you are commuting by bus. You can't hit anybody, cuss at anybody, throw rocks. You just have to wait. And we wait, and it's sullen and sad and demoralizing, but we wait. So I was waiting on the platform downtown for the number 2 bus to come. And these 2 well-dressed men were more well-dressed than most people I see who aren't obviously going to work in a business, like an office setting. So they were chatting in a very friendly way that made me think they weren't longtime chums. They just become friendly with each other because of something that just happened on their previous ride on another bus. Eventually they stopped talking, and the taller one strolls away and stops in front of me and asks me, "Do you want this?" He holds up a brown paper bag and he says, "Do you want this?" And I said, "Why would I want your trash?" And he said, "It ain't trash, it's fried chicken. Do you want this fried chicken?" And I said, I have an income." And he said very defensively, "Well, I have an income too," which, dude, my point was there are probably people with lesser means who might, but I should have spoke plainly, but I don't talk in a plain way a lot of the time. So anyway, I said, "No, thank you." And he goes, he said, "I have an income too." And he goes, "You're bonita." And I said, "I know." And then I said, "Just because I'm Latina doesn't mean we all like to flirt," or something like that. And then he's like, kind of like, "I like you." And then he walked away with his bag of chicken. So that moment, that's the kind of day that I often have. And it's so random and it's so lovely. And I'll forget this, except if I watch this video later on YouTube. But so much gets unpacked when I tell the story because I remember also the bad news that I read on the phone, also, or whatever else, worrying about measles or whatnot. So I thank you for those comments that you, Jeffrey and Richard, made about that phenomena of like wanting to capture the moment, but maybe you don't want to just be saying the same things other people are saying. It's your take, your personal inroad to the same experience that we're living through.
Part of what I was thinking too is, like that was you were recording or whatever, reporting a cultural experience. I'll just say that very generally. That is a specific one that happens at this time in history and at this point in your life. But just as well.
Oh, I forgot the last part when I said not all Latinas like to flirt. And he said, "Don't worry, I'm Blaxican."
Okay.
Okay.
That's the point. That's the point where I would have taken the fried chicken.
I should have. I really should have. Anyhow,
What
I'm
time of day was this?
what kind of what?
What time of day was this?
What kind
What
of
time of day was this?
Oh, it was 11:30
On the way to
11:30 in the morning. It was chicken eating time.
it was. Fuck. But I was gonna just add that you know, every little thing that's attracting you or is it potentially worth recording. And I mean everything, and which, not to say you better spend 24 hours a day writing, but if you need to write a poem about that ladybug, then write the fucking poem about the ladybug, because that's what you need to do right now too. And later on, that'll tell you something else. Like sometimes there's just a ladybug, kind of
Think
like you.
I'm a ladybug.
I don't know. I just made up a nickname for you. Yeah.
Thank you, Richard. And that leads me to ask you, Richard, to announce about your upcoming workshop. Would you do that?
Oh, yeah. I'd already forgotten. Yeah,
Because you didn't write a poem about it.
I know. Hold on. First, let me put this. I put this link. I was going to put this link in the thing a while back. You guys can just look at it. It's a novel I read last year called In the Distance. And some stuff that people were talking about, especially something Jeffrey said about taking the person and taking the walks, walking, and also our initial conversation about the book and movie, especially the novel Frankenstein. It's an amazing. In the Distance is written by this guy Hernan Diaz, who's Hispanic, and I can't remember exactly where from, but he grew up in the U.S., but he's Hispanic and Swedish. And I actually grew up partially in Sweden. And the story takes place around the time of the gold rush, like the mid 1800s. And it's about a backwoods, a Swedish guy who really doesn't know much of, and is not an educated person, who has been sent with it by his dad, sends him and his older brother, who knows somewhat more about things, to get to a ship to New York, to make a better life, and they get separated, and he can't speak English or anything. They get separated in England at the port, and he accidentally gets on a ship to San Francisco, and he doesn't know where he is or anything, and he can barely speak anything, and it takes months to go there around the Cape and everything like that. But then that's the first 5 pages. The point is, the book is about him trying to figure out how to walk to New York from San Francisco, to find his brother.
Oh, that sounds fascinating.
It's historic, sort of a slightly surreal historical novel too. I mean, it takes you through all kinds of horrible shit that went on in the Old West, but it's not like a normal old Western. He depicts the West of that era in somewhat less romanticized terms than a lot of things. Let's put it that way. And some parts are surreal. But okay, let me see. Do I even have?
Oh, can I interject something? Kamala, you put a link to information about Marisol Cortez's newest book. It's a collection of poems.
That's right. And it's coming out in June.
And I invited Marisol Cortez to be our featured poet in, was it this month or last month? And Marisol couldn't, and said that they want to read for us online soon. So I'm going to invite them and see what month works for them. Did you happen to talk to Marisol about that, Kamala?
Not about that. She's had some health issues, and that's probably why she couldn't. But I think, but she's doing better, and we're actually on a poetry panel at the Association for the Study of Literature and the Environment.
Oh,
anyway,
nice. That's
that's
Azel. You're doing something with Azel. Azel, or what? ASLE. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the panel? Is it
That's
virtual?
online.
Well, it's virtual. I
Okay.
think you have to be registered probably to hear it, unfortunately. But and there's a real live um, conference that I'm not planning to go to, but it's in it's in Maryland. And it's like the week before or something like that. So but I signed up for the online part, and it's interesting because this, of course, was being planned since like January or something, but then with all of the things happening with students, and this is a very international conference. It's probably the most, has people from the most other places in the world. So they've actually made some of the I'm not sure how they're doing it, but they're somehow doing it so that if people are afraid they cannot, I mean, or don't find it safe to travel, either coming from their country or as international students or something here who don't want to risk traveling, they can present, they'll have a hybrid, or they'll have the possibility for them to come in on Zoom. So I thought that was a good thing that they were doing, but it just shows the times that we're in.
It does. Your volume is going up and down. I don't know if it's proximity to mic or something else, but I don't know if anybody else had an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, you were getting quiet, but we could hear.
Okay. Sorry.
So I'm going to invite Marisol again, possibly for June, summer solstice, or July, depending on her availability. So I'm excited to be able to invite her. She seemed really interested. She just couldn't make it the time that I asked her. Mm-hmm. There's an Austin-based band whose name I can't remember right now, that we're about to launch their first European tour. And they were at DFW Airport, I guess Austin, the DFW Airport. And they were on the plane, and one of their drummer got pulled off the plane. And he is a Mexican national with a US granted green card. And they pulled him off the plane, so he couldn't go to Europe with his buddies, and the tour is canceled.
They didn't let him leave the country, is what
didn't
you're
let
saying.
Yeah. Well, but they took him away, and they have the bandmates weren't sure as of a few days ago where he was. But apparently a lawyer has been secured, and the drummer's family is they have more information now, but it's an ongoing situation. Just saying it's hitting pretty close as far as artists being impacted in our state, in Texas.
Yeah. Texas is not a happy place.
One of the reasons I visited in Chicago. Seriously.
Are you going to move? Are you moving to Chicago?
Well, my friends in Chicago would love for me to move up there. So I did look to see at the rental prices, what they were like there. They're comparable.
What part of Chicago?
Rogers Park.
Okay.
With the beach and parks. And
if the rents were comparable to Fort Worth, then they have to be better than the Bay Area.
Oh, of course.
Because I've thought about moving there too. Of course, I'm too broke to pretty much to take much more than a bus across town, but I did buy a fucking taco. But,
I did buy a fucking taco.
I did. You missed that.
Then life is still good. Life is still good.
So Tammy, you had asked about.
Please share, about your workshop.
I'll do a share screen, and then I'll also put a, oh, come on, there. I forgot. Thanks for mentioning, but you guys might even know about this because it's on Facebook, but I invited like tons of people on Facebook. I decided to try to do some online workshops and see. The $40 is negotiable. That's for anyone who can afford it. But I'm going to do one. It's actually the day after the next Recordando. That's Sunday. And I set the hours so that it would be convenient on a Sunday for both West Coast and East Coast people. I don't know about people out of the country. So 3 hours for $40 or less. And it'll be, I'm going to do an hour of generative just to get everybody all worded up. And then 2 hours of talking about each other's pieces. I'll ask people to submit. If people, when they sign up, I'm going to ask them to submit. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do that, but I think I might put them all on Google Docs and give everyone the ability to go into that, so everybody can make notes on people's poems as they read them or as they talk about them, and then the person can go home with a copy of the poem with a bunch of different comments on it and so forth. But it also doesn't have to be poems. That's all. Except that I asked for people to express interest on Facebook, or this is my Power Unit 17 is my literary services business, which I don't talk about clearly enough because I don't get that much business. But, so I have a website, powerunit17.com, and everything, but or just on Facebook. And before anyone asks why it's called Power Unit 17, the answer is because there are many power units.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'll get rid of that, and I'll put the Facebook event, which is right under 10. Thank you, Tammy, her note. And then, while I'm here, I might as well paste this into, where are you, you stupid, no, did I mean that? Copy. This is, I should probably, this is, I don't know if I've shared this here yet or not. Online readings is at ineedanewpledge.com resources. It's a page that says resources for resistance. And it's not a big list because I'm waiting for more people to, I did not list the Recordando because it didn't, even though this is a sort of place of resistance, I didn't think you'd want a bunch of random people from anywhere tuning in. But I could, but it's got a list of about 7 or 8 readings, all but one are online.
It might be, I don't know. Folks might find it disappointing if it's because this is really not lately structured like a,
But I put that there so that
a conventional
you guys
online
could,
reading.
Copy the link, and I know Lorraine. I see you sometimes I've seen you at Cobalt, and maybe at least one other, but and I don't even go to all of them, but there's people sent them in and gave me information, so I made a little web page for it. So.
Well, now I'll put a plug in for Richard's most recent podcast, because he really goes strong in there about a million different ways of getting yourself to write. So you're tempting me to sign up for your workshop because of your podcast.
Well, thanks. I didn't intend it to be exactly sound like a writing workshop, but once I got writing, I was like, well, I got to say that and that and that, I guess, if I've said this. The recent podcast, and that's been going for almost a year. It's actually the next to last one. a 12-month podcast based on a 12-month video fast. And I'm not putting my television back up or anything like that, but I said I do the podcast for a year. So, but this one is, which is the next to last one, it's sort of the last one with a main sort of a topic that runs through it. As the final one will, will be its own thing, but it's sort of about ways to come up with new ideas, and how to find them is sort of the theme. So, um, and
Thank you. You're very busy, Richard.
I also probably joined a performance. I may have joined a performance troupe this past week because I went to see a show of mixed performance that was so good that I walked up to the director afterwards and said, "That was great. Can I perform with you?" And I'm sitting there going, "You're busy." Anyway.
No, when you find your people, you gotta keep up with them, you know?
I know, right? I haven't done that more than once or twice in my life, and it's been years. And this is half of a dance group, and I'm like, I can barely walk across the room without it hurting. But maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, that would be.
Chair dance. You could do chair dance or hand dancing.
Chair dance like a lap dance without anybody in the chair. That must be it.
Kamala, I'm curious, what are you working on in terms of creative lately? Oh, Lorraine's saying goodbye. Good night, Lorraine.
Oh,
Feel
good
better
night.
soon.
Feel
Get
better.
well.
Yeah, breathe
Thinking
well.
of you. Thinking of you.
Good
Mhm.
night, all.
Breathe
Good
well.
night.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, I guess this is, I can answer in two ways. The first is that, okay, my grades went in on Monday, and I'm sort of full-time now working on a anthology of writings from the Pen Project courses, and those are the ones where the students or interns who respond to the work that's sent from the prison in New Mexico. I guess they're also in Arizona, but most of what I've worked with is New Mexico. Okay, so there's this Lived Places publishers, and we got I mean, I was sort of reticent about the whole thing because I was really busy and I don't get any support for doing extra stuff like this, and I have my own projects that I wanted to do. But then, I did put in some work on the proposal at the last minute, and then one of the people dropped out, and so now I'm the person that knows how to do this stuff. So that's through
It's
June.
falling on you. Oh.
It's falling on me as, yeah. But I mean, I advocate that that's what we need to do, is work that needs to be done as opposed to work that we're getting paid for sometimes. But you can't, I mean, whatever. You can't do that all the time. But it's a time issue really, more so than money. The other things that I keep thinking, and my problem is really a time thing, like not having time to write. Actually, I've started writing. I'm writing a couple letters to people that are in situations that are outside of or mostly outside of email and stuff like this, and that's really a wonderful thing. And I like one of my creative writing classes, we always write a letter at the beginning, and they're supposed to and for some people, it's the first time that they put a stamp on an envelope and mail their letter. I probably talked about that before, but, and it's, it's significant for people a lot of the time. So it's a good, writing exercise, but I'm also part of that stands in contrast to all of the uncomfortableness, I guess, I feel with AI invading everything I do on computer, it feels like. And I just feel it's less and less well, I mean, I can't. And then I found out stuff about Google. Like if you read about Google and their contracts with Israel, uh, making war. It's just, you're like, well, okay, I'm just, I'm ready to boycott Google, which you can't. I mean, it can't be done when you're teaching online, or it could be very difficult. But anyway, I've all these qualms. So my thing is backing up. And then the other thing that is part of that too is that my mom was a writer, and she passed away, over 8 years now. But she had some projects that were unfinished, and that we've talked about, trying to, or that she hadn't published. And I think that in some ways, some of those are very, very timely, and I might want to do something with them. So that was a bunch of babbling in different directions, but that's what I'm doing.
Sounds like you got a lot percolating, and then there's that, yeah, ongoing yeah, that
And I do think
struggle
it's
to figure out
important.
where AI fits in or doesn't fit in, or how we can opt out, how we can keep the integrity of our work
Yeah.
maintained. And I don't know if folks here know about the Library of Congress, the librarian of Congress was fired, and there's multiple reasons being given why she was fired, and the Library of Congress wants, the feds want to do something different with it. And there's one aspect that was really alarming to me, and it had to do with copyright infringement and
Oh, wow. Yeah.
letting changing the policies or the practices there, so that all the, any things that are collected at that library will be used for machine training. Did I say that right? Where
Mhm.
where
Yeah, yeah.
artificial intelligence can train on the copyrighted materials.
And stuff
And
is disappearing from websites and from all over, from, yeah, that sense of, I mean, my friend Moby, who's Buddhist, says, well, I always learned there's this sense of that things are not permanent, but that sense of impermanence is way more intense than it should be right now, in terms of our work, which is another reason to that, I don't think we stop doing that work, or writing, or magnifying the work around us, or the moments around us, which is another thing I'm interested in. I mean, I keep my sanity partly with my animals and my little goat and my plants, and we have a whole little ecosystem here, whether the city likes it or not. I pull the plants I don't want right now and feed them to my goat and my chickens, and my chickens feed me, and I even feed the chickens those big roaches that we get, and they feed me with eggs, and it maybe serves to some people,
oh,
but
you got all kinds of symbiosis going on. So in other words, you're saying
yeah,
that AI can't, machines can't
they
train on
think
any of that.
Mhm.
right. And it's, yeah, I mean, because I also know lots of people that, and myself included, it just.
Oh, your volume's decreasing. I don't know
Oh,
why.
I'm sorry. I wonder what it is. Anyway, can you hear me now?
A little bit better.
Okay, well, I better check into this. But anyway, yeah. I don't remember.
I'm glad you have that pocket of sanity there. That sounds lovely. Lovely and delicious. So it's about 10:30 now, and we've done a marathon session, believe it or not, given that I did put little effort into promoting this. But I really just actually thought this would be nice to just have a conversation, and we did a lot of that and a lot of sharing and updating, and that's
We
all been
did.
good.
Mhm.
We did good. So I look forward to what y'all might bring for next month. It's the summer solstice.
I'm bringing an entire indie concert.
Yeah, so Kamala Richard's gonna be live streaming moments from
I'm gonna be at
a music
yeah,
festival in Oakland or San Francisco.
Oh, okay.
a very unusual one, like very cool, unusual music, many different kinds. But I'm just gonna be at that event. But I asked everybody if it'd be okay if I sort of dialed in on my phone. I could just keep it mute and every so often see if I could tuck in and hold the phone up and let you guys listen to like 2 minutes of music or something a few times while I'm wandering around. Hmm.
I
See,
added the
thought
link
about
for
doing that
Kamala.
from the Cajunto Festival when I first saw your message,
Oh,
Tammy.
that would have been awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't quite figure out how to do it, and then yeah.
Oh, you put the link back in, Tammy. If you're curious, Kamala, what she's
Oh, okay, great.
called Garden of Memory is a pretty amazing. And that reminds me, because we're going to bow out in a minute. I'm going to save the chat. Although
Yeah.
I have a habit now of clicking on every link that everyone puts up, and then when I close, this is at least for Recordando, and I have
All the
on whatever it
tabs.
is on Chrome or whatever, I have a folder called Dondo,
Oh.
and I just save all the sites
Oh,
that open
that's
up
great.
into that one folder, and whether I get a chance to look thoroughly through any of them or not, they're all sitting there like full of ideas.
This great information that's shared out every month. I really appreciate what y'all know and
Oh,
bring to this gathering. Yeah, well, y'all continue to look good, and everybody here looks perky and well and somewhat upbeat. That's good to see. And I hope
okay.
that the goat
I'm wondering if
gets fed and everything gets, the chickens get
Oh,
their
and
bucks.
please think good thoughts about San Antonio, because we have a runoff election between a MAGA Abbott supporter and Gina Ortiz Jones, who's a pretty decent human being.
For what
She
office?
actually for mayor.
Oh,
Mayor.
that's
Oh,
big.
And
Yeah.
I saw a big ad for her. She was Air Force
Civil, yeah,
lieutenant commander or
whatever.
something.
Yeah, she's, which is weird to me, but I mean, coming from where I come from, but it shows that she knows how to work with big bodies of people. And some people, there's gender in the thing. I mean, there's sort of the same kind of sexism we've seen before. And so even some Democrats are saying they're not voting for her, and that would be just, oh my gosh, it would be Kamala and Trump all over again. And I don't know if I can take it at 3 levels like that.
Yeah.
So it's June 7th is the election day. So keep us in your.
and next time I see you guys, I'll be finally done with this podcast, and so maybe I'll actually have like a brain, because it's always drained from writing them more again and again and again. So it'll be.
But I will miss it.
I know, and I love you for that, if nothing else. No,
Oh,
I'm glad that you like it so much because I put work in. There's not a ton of listeners, there's like maybe 20 or so steady listeners through. It's hard to tell a little bit from
Mhm.
the stats. Uh, but worked hard on it. I have one more to do in 2 weeks, and that's it. And then I'll have a whole bunch of my time freed because it's not like I'm going to go back to watching television or what I'm really afraid of. I'm not, or gaming. That's what really was the big addictive thing, I think. And
Are
anyway,
these podcasts archived?
yeah. Well, they're on a podcast thing, and I'm not. I have to ask them how that works. So I think I might have to move them elsewhere if I want to stop paying the podcast provider. I guess it's called, but they're on Buzzsprout right now, and I think they're on like what's it called? Some of the music playing things. I'm just being tired now.
Spotify.
Spotify, yeah, it's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and stuff. But I said it's called my 12-month video fast, and I meant it. It started on June 1st and it's ending on May 31st, and
Do you want to share the link for that? Do you mind?
oh, I guess I could. Take me 1 sec. It will be on this tab. No.
I'll have to see if I can download it all and save it.
I don't know if you can or not.
I'll have to go look.
Well, you can always ask. No, the thing is, the files are huge, and here it is. And that's called my 12-month video fast. And the truth is, if you type that in with quotes around it, you will find it because there's nothing else called my 12-month video fast. Oh, and I'm particularly proud. I'll share one last thing. I'm particularly proud of my my current logo because every month, every podcast actually gets a different logo.
Yeah, you've been doing a lot of design work.
I've done like 33, well, sort of 33 designs, but like here's what it was on the first one. This is something on my own website where I actually keep all the logos, and this is where it started, just very plain with the television looking in a corner, a couple of timeout corner, and they slowly got more and more complex as it went along. That's one of my favorites. I put it in the middle of a highway at night. That's the one about AI. I rant about that shit.
I'd like to see that one.
I later named one. I'll show you in a sec. But I mean, I could say what each one of these is about, but that's about Chicago and doing temp work in the 80s. That's about video games. They're my favorite characters. I miss them so much. This is about dopamine. Drink the light. I read a couple books on what dopamine does and reported. This is well, Memory in the Green Door. I won't go into that. This is about bicycling. This was about slipping on the fast and how I got rid of all kinds of little like things on my phone and replaced them with Kindle icons. So that if I wanted to open something naughty, I would instead open a book. This one's actually about etymologies. This one is tree. This one's about my 3rd birthday. That's actually me.
Oh my gosh, in a bow tie.
I was 3, and I was on the Happy the Clown birthday show, which is terrifying. And it was the same day that Kennedy was assassinated. So that's what all that.
Oh, that's a double horrifying day, right?
Yeah.
What is this? Clean Hands Day? Clean Hands. Okay.
This was the point where I realized I didn't have cravings for any of it anymore. It was about halfway through the whole thing.
Oh wow.
That's a 7-minute song that I wrote for the solstice.
Oh yeah, I played that. I remember playing that.
Then there's 3 that have 2 interviews each with 2 different artists. One of whom is Tammy Melody Gomez.
They're all great.
Yeah, they turned out really good. I worked really hard on these. They're like 45 minutes per person. And then this is after the coronation. After Trump got into office, they get really grisly. This one's a potluck, but it's got a zombie hand with a gun coming out of the television.
Ooh.
And this is the one where I tell everybody all my intimate details. This was about the fires and about a bunch of stuff. They're not all somber. This is about masks, cultural and otherwise throughout history. The Atmambia. It's one of the best ones. This was the tough love episode where I just start yelling at everyone to get their shit together. This one is sound bites from all kinds of videos and movies and poets and stuff like that.
There's Tango. I love Tango.
Got the Great Dictator speech. Got Tango, Ice and Martin, Victor Hernandez Cruz.
Joy Harjo.
Joy.
Who was in Dallas last night.
Awesome.
Wow.
Anyway, it's got all kinds of stuff on this. This one's like an hour and 20 minutes of it. And it's got a whole bunch of a documentary on the Stonewall. Then here's another one called I, which is not about AI.
That's creepy looking.
That's my eye, actually.
Oh, well, okay. Yeah. It's still creepy. Sorry.
It is creepy. I know it's creepy. This is the next to last one. I can't say what the H word is because I laugh uncontrollably. And this is the current one, which is the next to last one in the whole podcast.
That's
right?
Nice design.
Blow everything
like
up.
That.
That's from the 2001: A Space Odyssey. The colors. That's from the Stargate sequence
cool.
at the end. Yeah, I downloaded about 30 different stuff from the Stargate sequence to find the ones with the colors that I like the best, and then I exploded the title, and that's all. But it's it's about creativity. I'll show you The Life of the Mind, which is actually from Barton Fink, and that's it because I only have one more left, and I can't tell anybody what the last one will be.
Do you like Barton Fink?
No.
No.
Decidedly not. I rewatched it recently to make sure I wasn't misremembering, but no, it's an hour and 40 minutes of writer's block where nothing happens, and it's so painful to watch. I think I'm like, fuck, he's sitting there again. It's like, how many times can I look at a mostly blank page in a typewriter?
Yeah, it was kind of disturbing.
Yeah, I do a review of it. I do a sort of recap and a review with lots of spoilers in this one,
but then he goes on to talk about all the different ways you can get yourself to write.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. I didn't mean to go through that, but I just wanted to show you this one because I'm really proud of this one.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
do want to save it because I need to go over a lot of them. Listen to them again.
So they'll be there, and I think what I'm going to do is start a is it Bandcamp or something? It's one of them, like to put some poetry and stuff up. I think it's Bandcamp, if that's what I'm thinking of, the right one. But anyway, there's one other I'm thinking of. I can't remember. But I'll have them online where you can actually purchase them, but you can actually, I think, listen to them there too. So, yeah, they're very big files, so it's not easy to trade them over internet. But I appreciate that you like them. I really do. Yeah. Anyway,
that last design for the podcast just made me think of the film Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mm-hmm.
And
that one I'm going to watch again when I'm off.
Yeah, well, it's up on Tubi TV for free right now. So just saying, there's a link.
I have a Blu-ray.
I have it on DVD. My niece gave it to me.
It's so good.
Yeah.
That doesn't break your fast.
If it's sustenance.
We'll hear about this the next
artistic
time.
Sustenance.
I do occasionally put things on it if my brain won't do anything else, but very little.
Well, it's been a wonderful night. I'm gonna stop recording. Y'all have been a joy to decipher and discuss things with, and we did share a bit of poetry, believe it or not. And I look forward to doing this again next month, June 2025. So I'll just release us from the recording mode, and those of us who want to stick around and say our goodbyes will do that. Mwah, love y'all.